Welcome to Chris's Granite Paradise and to another unboxing of Adam's amazing treasures from Oregon's Rogue River and other great places in the Pacific Northwest. Also, despite our recent May snowstorm, spring has quickly returned to Granite Paradise, so come along and let's check out some interesting and colorful rocks. Hello, my name is Chris, and I'm a rockaholic. Once again, we have a stunning selection of Oregon goodies. I believe these are pretty much all from the Rogue River, with the exception of this guy here, which is from Rock Creek Beach in Oregon. And as usual, we are going to start with the freebies that Adam has so kindly included. There's one he did not label, and it's really beautiful, very green. And this one is quite magnetic. I'm learning to have my magnet around so I can test these guys. You can see the magnet clearly sticks, especially to the darker inclusions in the rock. That's the only one that shows any sign of magnetism, so we'll set the magnet aside. Due to Oregon's geologic history of both subduction and volcanism, many colorful and unusual rocks such as jade, jadeite, and serpentine minerals have resulted, among many others. Also, when volcanic rocks such as basalt or rhyolite are altered, often vibrant green minerals can result, creating these bright eye candies for us to collect. Here is a Google search that may provide you with more information about these minerals specifically. Nice, very nice piece. This one's got my attention. I believe he says this is a crystallized rhyolite from Rock Creek Beach, Oregon. I know my tag's gonna blow away as soon as I pick the rock up. Better put another rock on top of it. You can see the druzy quartz cavities there. It's most likely a rhyolite, like Adam was saying. Get him wet. So I have a few pieces like this from Adam that are from the Rogue River. This is similar material, just from a different location. From what I have seen and acquired from Adam, Oregon is the jackpot when it comes to unique brecciated rhyolites. These are just a few that I have around here, and they show amazing vein patterns and mineral content, and they are obviously solid enough to be tumbled into beautiful river cobbles, filled with quartz crystals, calcite, and agate, as we are seeing. The angular pieces speak of intense shattering and violence. Here are a few Google search results to give you some rabbit holes to pursue if you would like to do a little more research. If you look closely at the veins in this one, they are lined first with druzy quartz, then with calcite. The larger openings have very reflective calcite crystals in them, and then there is even some agate, such as you're seeing here. So these brecciated rhyolites are definitely one of my favorites from Adam's illustrious treasures that he sends. Beautiful Oregon geology going on here. It says this is a green mystery stone from the Rogue River. Beautiful quartz veins going through it. Nice splash of color there. Yeah, the quartz is almost transparent. That's why it looks kind of dark like that. If this rock hadn't been in Adam's box, I would mistake it easily for one of our more common rocks in the Cache la Poudre River. We have an abundance also of mafic rocks that were altered and became mostly epidote or unikite and things similar, which you may have seen in my videos from this area. Here's another one that he's wondering if I can help identify. This one feels very heavy, and I thought it would be magnetic, but it's not at all. Here's a more granitic looking rock that could easily be from our area as well. As we've seen in my videos about our mafic metamorphic rocks of the Poudre Canyon and river, these metamorphosed mafic rocks from Oregon can also be very complex in both structure and mineralogy, and therefore are really hard to identify. Beautiful piece, but we're going to stick with the mystery name. Very unique, rare find. Yep, we'll leave it at that. Okay, now these are the ones I purchased back here. And they were labeled, these are 3 conglomerates. This green one caught my attention because it's magnetic. It's actually, I'll stick the magnet on it here. It's not really magnetic enough to hold the magnet per se, but it does have a little bit of a pull. So I'm not sure what that tells us, other than just a beautiful piece. These appear to be quite similar, and a likely scenario is that they are related and from a single area, but the green one underwent altering and mineral transformation into these green minerals we looked at earlier. Conglomerates in general are fascinating when they undergo any type of metamorphic processes because the individual clasts, being of very different composition, react so differently to the conditions imposing the metamorphism on the parent rock. Here's a photo of our dining room table, which is made of such an altered conglomerate, which shows intense epidote inclusions. Another Pacific Northwest conglomerate. I did talk to Adam about these just now, and unless otherwise stated, the rocks are from the Rogue River, and so that is the source of these hard, gemmy beauties. I hope he finds the big brother to these at some point. Both the matrix and the clasts appear to be about the same hardness, as is evidenced by the relatively smooth surface of the stones. I am not very familiar with the findings of this Google search, but Adam and anyone else out there who is familiar with the Rogue River and its drainage, I would love to know if these findings are indeed related to the rocks that we are seeing here today. I love conglomerates. They've always been my favorite. If you're still watching, you most likely really enjoy this type of material, and I want to put in a shameless plug for Adam and his eBay store, West Coast Rocks. He is one of a very few who mainly sell this type of material, which I like to affectionately call those other rocks, which are, for the most part, overlooked by most of the rockhounding world. Thank you, Adam, and keep up the good work. Okay, then we have I believe he had this labeled as a black jasper. I'm kind of curious about this one because it appears to have a very similar look to Septarian nodules or concretions. And I think I showed you guys in the last Oregon Rocks in the Mail video. I have several of these from Adam. They're jaspers. They're obviously very hard, but they have the same pattern, which could mean that they had their origin as Septarian nodules and then became jasper later on. Not sure how that works. I'll insert here a few photos of my other examples that I'm referring to. You guys tell me what you think. I'll take a minute here to look at our beautiful Oregon display. Again, Adam, you're a large part of this, so thank you so much. But here I've got 2 of these jaspers that have a spectacular Septarian pattern. This is probably the most obvious. And this is clearly jasper. It's got some conchoidal fracture. It's nice hard stuff. A little bit fractured, obviously. But spectacular pattern. We'll set it down next to the one we're talking about in today's video. And then there's the one right next to it that also has that pattern. So what do we mean by a Septarian nodule or a Septarian pattern? The way these normally form is in a sedimentary environment, especially in shale. Could be in other stones as well, but they develop, it's almost from contraction. If you can imagine like mud shrinking and forming the cracks. Except these are usually in a ball, in a sphere within the mud. And then those openings fill with minerals. Let's look at these wet. They're spectacular. Very nice. The piece from today's video is a very nice addition. I'm going to be doing some rearranging because as you can imagine, I'm completely out of room on this sculpture, but I have some stuff on the other side that's from other places, and I'm gonna move stuff around, and I want to organize these, and one of the things I'm going to do is have all my little Septarians together. I want to take a moment and show you, so in a sedimentary environment, be it limestone or shale, those can later be replaced by silica by a number of processes, and that's most likely what went on with these. This is actually a nice, get the sunlight on it, nice red color. Anyway, so they'll be replaced with silica, and what these most likely originally were, I've got some from the Yellowstone River, and these are still shale. These are actual Septarian nodules, such as this here. So you can clearly see, if you can imagine a turtle shell, rather than lightning bolts going through the rock or parallel lines like fractures, these will usually be in a, again, imagine the cracked mud. It's more that kind of a pattern because it tends to be from contracting and creating spaces that way. As we see here, volcanic ash and mud can definitely create some high silica Septarian deposits. Of course, we would appreciate any comments you guys can leave if you know about this particular geology and petrology. Another beautiful treasure from the Rogue River. We have another one of those Bullseye Agates. I think this was 11 pounds or something. I can't remember the weight. I bought these back in February. I had to go back in my eBay account and remember when I bought this box because I've had it sitting out in the shed for quite a while. That's definitely too big to get in my water container, so we're going to use the spray bottle. Adam knows I love these. I almost always buy them when they come up on his store, just because they're such a unique pattern. We can definitely appreciate the very high percentage of radiating layers of quartz crystals compared to the very small amount of what we would call the matrix material. Here is the rock from today's video. You can see many of the spherules, but I wanted to show you my growing collection. There are a few others. I think I found them all here. There's a few other small ones I can't locate right away. But this is probably the one that best demonstrates the pattern I'm talking about. Let's get some water on these guys. So I am of the opinion that these are small pieces of matrix material, here represented by the hollowed out areas because they're soft. But there's clearly not enough matrix to have at one time been its own rock. So I think these pieces were moving around in a current, and layer upon layer of this quartz formed around them until finally there wasn't any room to move around anymore. And of course they fused together. Here are some other examples of this fascinating material. It's like right here is a perfect circle. And you can see there's matrix there. It's eaten out. Here's another little piece of matrix here. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, these are really nice. I'm almost imagining like either a river current or maybe like one time I visited a mineral spring in Mexico and there was a little waterfall there. And in that case it was travertine that was depositing out. And there were some little branches and other pieces of debris where the water was cascading, and they were basically becoming marbles because they were crystallizing around, and yet the water movement wouldn't let them stay still. And I think that's what we're seeing here, guys. Adam, this is really cool material. It's definitely not Bullseye Agate. I've actually researched Bullseye Agate, and there's a real agate that's called that. So I'm not sure what we should call these, because they're not agate, they're druzy quartz. But they definitely have a noteworthy pattern. Another rock forming in an active environment is orbicular granite, or it can be any type of plutonic igneous rock. My friend Todd from Manitoba, Canada, has shared some of his amazing collection with me in the form of photos. He's an avid collector, and so if you know of any finds that he might be interested in, let me know and I can forward your information to him. As I understand that these form in massive, miles wide, miles deep bodies of magma, and gravity causes the spherules to either float or sink and grow similarly to hailstones dropping out of a thunderstorm, except that these likely take millions of years to migrate up or down, gathering rings as they go. Another fascinating rock that forms in an active, agitated environment is known as oolitic limestone. Here is a Google search that gives you some further information on that material. In this case, what keeps the spherules from cementing together is wave action on the beach of an evaporating ocean. I like to point these other rock varieties out to you because I just want you to see the context in which this quote-unquote bullseye agate, again, I think we need to come up with another name, fits into a category of very unique rocks that are formed in agitated or active environments. Let's get back to our beautiful Oregon rocks. So Adam said that this is likely a jasper or possibly a jadeite, which is related to jade, geologically speaking. And I know there's a lot of, Adam has a nice box of it at his store right now. Beautiful Oregon jade. So if any of you are interested, go on over. I may purchase it if I come across some money in the near future. From an artistic point of view, to me, whether they be jade, jadeite, serpentines, or jaspers, these beautiful green rocks from Oregon really add a splash of color and life to the display. Anyway, this is another beautiful stash. I need to definitely make some room on my Oregon sculpture. Gradually, my Oregon, California display is overtaking this entire sculpture. And Adam, again, thanks to you. You're a big part of this. I'm going to start moving some of these rocks to a new location. These rocks that are from Hawaii, those actually can move over to the new rocks in the mail sculpture that you guys saw in the recent video that I did on the rocks from Rhode Island from John. These will go over there. I can put this gravel somewhere else. This display here is of beautiful mine tailings with quartz crystals and other interesting minerals from Montana's Elkhorn Mountains. I'll try to find a place for them as well. But for now, we'll start with the Hawaii rocks. They'll go over to the rocks in the mail sculpture, which I'll show you for those of you who have not seen. Right here. John, here are your beautiful rocks. You guys were the first, your rocks were the first ones to move in. I remember saying that in the video. I'll probably put the Hawaii rocks over here on this side. Maybe down here is a good place for them. I want them to be protected. But anyway, that'll give us some more room for the rocks we just got from Adam and from any more we get in the future. Thanks for coming along, guys. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.